Oh, snap. It's time to yap. And I'm your host, Big C, and welcome to another episode of Just Yapping. Episode number 20. I didn't even think I'd get this far. I thought I'd be like episode 5 and I was done. But 20, I've come a long way, and I hope that you guys are enjoying what I put out there. I know it's not nothing's gonna happen overnight. I just want to, create some good stuff, good topics. I want you to enjoy what I'm doing, and hopefully we can all get better with suggestions and things that I can learn from my fans, and we can just keep moving forward. So there are a lot of things, out there on social media and in the news that have been popping up lately. And I didn't want to be redundant. I didn't want to be repetitive. I didn't want to do all that stuff to sound like all the other podcasters out there. Because a lot of them, I follow a lot, and they're fantastic. Like they're awesome, and I hopefully one day I want to be to where they are one day, right? But then you hear, like, if you turn on the news, right, you're going to hear horrible things that are going out there. And it's just the political stuff and money prices and the stock market crash. Like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to make people more depressed than what some are already, and make myself depressed, right? I don't want to do that. Not being depressed. I'm just saying, like, nobody wants to hear bad news. You just want to hear about changes and things that might help out, right? There were a lot of things that I was thinking of talking about. So I thought about maybe food and food prices, right? So I stuck on that because that's fairly easy, right? We all have to eat. We all have to survive through food, right? Because without food, we won't be here, right? And stuff. So I, there's been so many things and so many topics on food in general. And I've been dumbfounded because I love to eat. And who doesn't love to eat? The prices have skyrocketed tremendously, like unbelievable. And we all have been feeling it. I can't imagine those who are already struggling to put food on your tables, right? To double or triple the amount for milk, which are the basic essentials, mind you. Milk, eggs, bread, maybe cheese, maybe a fish or poultry or meat, right? And the prices have doubled or tripled. So if you will just put out those items that I just said, will run you probably $100 in some states, not all, some. I understand, and sometimes it's going to be like an oxymoron. I understand that with inflation, meaning in food products and gasoline and all that other stuff, right? There has to be a way to get that stuff in here, and the companies have to pay for it. I get it. But those companies, right, are making billions, 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 billions. And I understand they also have bills and stuff to pay and employees to pay. And I understand that. But it shouldn't be the consumer, because you guys have always said that the consumer is right. Like, the customer is always right. But on this one, we seem to be wrong, because all we're doing is buying your products in the supermarket to survive. And you people are taking advantage of that. And I think that's wrong, because when there's an unfortunate natural disaster, right? And then the federal government and the local government will say, hey, you guys cannot price gouge at the gas pump. You can't do that. It's illegal. But they still do it. On the down low, they still do it. They get away with it. There's no one regulating that when that happens. There's no like gas cops that go there and be like, hey, you shouldn't charge, you're going to prison. No. So how can you, and mind you, food, right? We have farmers here in the United States that depend on us to buy their products, and they're doing a fantastic job of it, right? But then we go, and listen, I don't want to make this a political thing, because I told you this podcast is not political. It's not, I'm just talking for the people, not making a political who did this, who did that, whatever. No, all right. I'm just saying, like, we feel it, whether you're red, whether you're blue, whether you're neutral, it doesn't matter. We're feeling it. Those that can afford it, fantastic, but they feel it as well, right? It's like, even at the fast food places, because my family and I, right, and especially me, I love to go out to eat. Why? Because you don't have to worry about cooking. You don't have to worry about washing the dishes. You're going to go out. You're probably going to spend the same amount of money eating out than just going to the grocery store nowadays and just making it at home, right? So we enjoy doing that. But then we have to pull back a little bit because it's getting super expensive. And again, I'm saying it depends what state you live in, because here in New York, prices in general, whether food, we're just talking about food, but I'm saying prices in general, housing is ridiculous, just absurd that people who we vote for, and again, it's not political, I'm just saying, who are in office, I should say, let that happen, you know? And those who are in the middle class, and I'm one of them, excuse me, I should say we, because my wife is also involved. We in the middle class are only going to stay in the middle unless we hit the lottery or something bad happens and we just, crumble. But though, unfortunately, those that are on the, lower poverty spectrum and stuff like that, I feel bad for them because they really know what it's like to be, to struggle. Growing up, I knew what it was like to struggle because we didn't come from money. We didn't have money. My mom did what she had to do. But guess what? We always had food on the table and the food was delicious, right? So we continue to try to do that, and that's why I think the young generation now love fast food because, one, it's quick, it's cheap. I shouldn't say it's cheap. It's kind of cheaper, and they'll get their bellies full and whatever. Some young kids don't know what it's like to eat a home cooked meal because they're like, I don't like that stuff. What are you making? It stinks. I don't like it. And then because we're guilty of it too, we'll be like, all right, what do you want? You want pizza? You want McDonald's? I shouldn't even say, because I'm not getting paid for these things. I'm just saying it. You want PK? KFC. And that's what yeah, let's get it. So those have even they've become like ridiculous for a meal at just one of the fast food joints, a burger, fries, and an iced tea that I had like last week. $17. $17. That's $2 less than what the workers are making minimum wage. It's insane. So we're basically covering for their minimum wage. It's unreal. Listen, we have to survive. So we're going to continue we have to. Without food, without those essentials, we're going to die. But we need to eat. And it's amazing to me, and I had mentioned the farmers earlier that they're doing a fantastic job, but they're growing stuff for us to eat. But we seem to keep drifting away and going to other countries where this is better and it's grown faster and all that. Yeah, but look what's going on now. Now we, the consumer, have to pay for that stuff coming in here because the fuel prices are expensive and they have to put it in trucks to ship, and they have to put gas in there, and it's like a double, then a triple, then a quad. It's never ending, and then unloading it and then putting in the thing and then putting it away. It's a never ending process, right? And it's not going to stop, because those things are never going to stop, but somebody needs to take control, right? And say, hey, look, enough is enough. Our consumers are paying way too much for food that's going on down there, right? We need to get a hold of it, and we need to control it better, so that way we have those who struggle getting food. We need to get them food, right? And it's amazing to me how some people, like big restaurants and stuff like that, purchase all this food, right? And then at the end of the night, some of that stuff goes away into the garbage. And there used to be a point in time. I don't know what it's like now. Maybe somebody can drop me a comment when they can. I don't know what it's like now, but I recall restaurants used to um at the end of the night, they used to take their stuff, the leftover, and send it to like a homeless shelter, or I don't know. That probably is still going on, but I'm not sure. I only heard different because places that would do that, some people got food poisoning and somebody got really sick or whatever and wanted to sue the restaurant. They were like, no. But I don't know if if the laws change that they can still do that. Because I know there's places that you can call and say, hey, you guys got leftovers, I'm hungry. Can I stop by? And people will do it. So just imagine you spend all that money to get all that food, charging your customers to throw it away because there's leftovers. It's there has to be, you're spending money, but then you're also losing you're losing it too, because then tomorrow you're gonna make more stuff, and tomorrow you're gonna lose more stuff. So it's a never ending battle. It's just absurd to me how food, right? They want us, the fat American consumers, food consumers, to be healthier and eat better in your greens and your vegetables and right, all that. I love all that stuff. But then, like, if you want to eat organic, organic is through the roof. I can only imagine those that are trying. Or let's say you're you're you don't have much money for food, right? And you're a vegan. You you're gonna spend whatever money you may have. You're gonna spend it on vegan food, and vegan food, some of it is super expensive. I feel like that's horrible. No one here in this country, or I should just say, should I just say, around the world, should be struggling to eat, right? Like when you go to a party, right, and you for the first time, and you like really you're through a friend or do whatever family, and you go to a party, what's the first thing to say? Yo, come on, sit down, let's eat. That's what we're missing. Why can't that be all the time, right? Why can't they be food available for those who are really struggling? And there are places where you can go and grab something to eat and all that stuff, but they even do it in our schools for the kids. Like they're saying, oh, it's supposed to be a nutritious day and put this, but they're still making chicken nuggets and burgers and spaghetti. That's not nutrition. That's the way it is, because they're not going hungry, but still, like, you're supposed to do things that are like on a balanced level as far as food, vegetables and fruit and all. Even fruit, man. Like, come on. Like the Puerto Rican, I know you people know, I love avocado. I grew up on avocado. El aguacate. Love avocado, right? I'll eat it. I'll open it up. My son loves it. Put a little salt on it. We're on, right? That the markups of avocados are crazy. They're like, oh my God, the people who grow the avocados, we don't know what we're going to do. Really? And I'm just saying, my people in Puerto Rico and those who are in Florida have avocado trees outside. Do you think they're worried? No. So why can't that be done here in the US? Everybody buy, and I get it. Those things have to be planted, and those things have to be grown, and all the sunlight in tropical kind areas and stuff like that. But here in New York, we have apple trees. We have orange. Some have orange trees and lemon trees. So why don't you come up with a thing and be like, here, grow this stuff in your backyard, and then you're self-sufficient. You can grow your stuff, and you can feed off it, and you don't have to worry about going to the supermarket. The only thing you go to the supermarket for is milk, bread, eggs. But for that, the way the eggs are now, and it's been ridiculous, we'll go with chickens or whoever in the back and let them lay eggs, and you get fresh eggs every day, right? But then that costs money to run that, because then you got to buy the feed to feed them, and then people in the area are like, hey, these chickens, they're house every night. They're here and cockle stuff. But it's the truth. Like you try to do things for your family and stuff like that, and then people turn around and they want to complain, right, that you're doing things to better your life, but then your neighbors are not happy with you because they hear and whatever. Right? So I'm just sorry. it just, to me, it needs to, there needs to be a grasp of all the stuff that's going on, because it's only going to get worse. And those who are desperate, and those who actually don't have, are really going to get desperate. Desperate times calls for desperate times calls for desperate measures. And they're going to go, and they're going to go door knocking, unfortunately, and they're going to come in and rob your house and raid your refrigerator and take whatever food, or it's out of control. We don't want that stuff to happen. We need to take control, and we need to find a better solution to these food prices, because they are unbelievable. Like, there was at one point that some of these fast foods were like, "Oh, we'll lower the prices a little bit," because they were losing money. They knew the kids can't even get a Happy Meal now because they're so dang expensive. If you have a family of 4, you're going to be easily spending $60, $40 or $50 and stuff on just a cheeseburger, French fries, and a drink for you, and then 2 other kids. So you're sharing it, and sometimes even sharing is like, you go into a battle. Don't be touching my French fries. I'm gonna chop your fingers off and stuff like that. Because and the kids in the back seat, and don't touch my chocolate milk. You can't have that. Everybody has their own. You have to have your own stuff. That's what it's about, right? And it's just, especially those who are on a fixed income. I get it. Like, it's got to change somehow. We have to get better. We have to get better as a country. We have to get better as people, because we used to depend on one another. Now we're not dependent on one another. Now we're doing it for survival, because they're like, how do you want to sit here and invite you over for dinner when I can't even afford it myself, and I can't invite you over for dinner, and it's becoming that. Like, and I just told my wife the other day, right? I'm like, listen, we need to go to the supermarket tomorrow and pack up on cold cuts and bread and mayonnaise and stuff like that. I got to start bringing lunch to work. She gets mad. It's true, especially nowadays. What I've just been telling you guys about spending money out there eating, it's insane. You don't even want to know the amount of money I've been spending on lunch. It's insane. And even a cup of coffee, right? They used to cost like 79 cents or even 75 cents for like a medium cup of coffee. It's like 2 something. And it's nothing. It's coffee. But again, where is it coming from? Who's hauling it in? Who's grinding it for you? Who's brewing it for you? Who's putting, how much of that cup? It's a monopoly. That's what it is. It's a monopoly. Let's put it out there. Let them fight over it. They're going to pay for it because they need it. They have to consume it, right? And whatever stuff they're putting in the food will make us loopy doopy, and let them fight, and they're going to pay us for it. And that's what we're doing. Unfortunately, it's sad to say, but that's what's going on. And we need to stop letting that happen. Food is the number one, obviously the number one consumer to keep us healthy, to keep us nourished, to keep us basically living. Right. And again, I'm going to say it again, for those that can't really afford it, do you believe that you can't blame the side who really can't afford it? It's sad, especially our kids, right? And I mean this in a good way. There's some people out there who I might get backlash for, but I'm going to say there's some people out there who own businesses, right? And there are people out there who can afford it big time, but then turn around and get free stuff. They get free lunch for their kids, or they go to camps for free, like local camps, and they get free lunch for their. How do you let that happen? There's kids who really can't afford it. They're paying for camp, or they're paying for their lunch. Like, food in school should be free all around, like every grade. You go to school, you're already, I'm saying some who own homes and own businesses within your district, you're already paying school taxes. So why can't those school taxes go to free lunches from grade K or, pre-K all the way to grade 12? Why? It doesn't happen. Just recently, our local schools were doing the free lunch program because it came from a federal grant. And then all of a sudden, when that money ended, guess what? My wife and I got to go back to paying $40 a month for lunch to eat. And the $40 went like this, because My son's huge. He's almost up to my shoulder, and I'm a big guy, but he's, he's young, he's muscular. He's going to the gym with Papa, and he's a big boy. He'll be 14, and he eats. And he's gonna eat. But I'm just saying, like, I'm not the only parent. We're not the only parents who have kids that are growing, and they got to eat, right? So that to me is unfair. Listen, I could sit here and rant and rave about food and the prices, and this should be this amount of money and all that other stuff. I was just basically trying to say that there has to be a chokehold. Basically, there has to be a chokehold on food and their prices and who's growing it and why are they charging us so much. And again, I know why, but that has to stop. That's ridiculous to me. They keep putting these things on social media about, oh, there's a whole chicken farm. They're burned down because 2,000 chickens got the whatever flu. Okay, and so why for the Super Bowl we were eating chicken wings, right? Where'd all those chickens go? Well, the chicken wings were like off the charts during the Super Bowl, but we lost chickens, but you guys are eating chicken wings. So am I eating dead chicken? Insane to me. And I always wonder, I'm like, are they lying to us to say that just so we can be like, oh my God, you heard about that? There's no more eggs in the world. And it's sad. I've seen stories that a female who couldn't afford her food went and stole like 4 or 5 eggs and put them in her pocket. I hope that, I don't know if they broke, but I'm just saying, like, to go feed her family, man, that's crazy. Like, I don't want to be that person. I don't want to have to go out and stick you up for a dozen eggs. I don't want to do that, and then where am I going to end up? I'm going to end up in prison, and then they're going to give me the food that they could hardly get. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. Like, it really is insane. We are trying to stay sane as a human race from all the crap that's going on out there. And then we individually are just going insane because we're going to worry about, hey, am I going to have food to eat tomorrow? Or what else is going to happen next? And I thought, and I'll be totally honest with you, I thought we would learn as a human race after we all struggled with COVID. It brought us together in some ways. We lost, people lost everything. People lost businesses. People lost family members. People lost a lot of things. Kids lost a lot of things. They lost the sense of how to grow up and be children. And those that were born in the COVID period, when they first saw their first little kid for the first time, they were like, oh my God, there's another one of you that look like me, kind of, because we're tiny. Like, where'd you come from? And it was like a psychological and mental, like freeze in the world. But if we didn't learn from that and we survived, like, what's next? Like, what else are you going to do to us? So my suggestion is plan ahead, like plan and keep everything, like for me, and I'm just being honest, I have dry rice, little boxes of pasta, some extra cans, because God forbid we get another natural disaster, something crazy that shuts down the world. We're going to be in trouble. And I'm being honest. Listen, I was only going on this as a food thing, to talk about the prices, but I'm just also doing a little survival trip. Like, we have to prepare slowly. Like, maybe on my next podcast, that's what I'll talk about. I'll tell you things that I kind of like prepared for. I'm not going to tell you what I have because I won't. You won't know. But I'm just saying, like, things that you should look out and things that you should buy, right? Maybe I'll do that. So again, I kind of don't usually go over my 20 minutes, whatever. But I'm at like 24 right now. So they're going to be like, yo, this guy, he's boring already. I'm going to sleep. No, I'm only kidding. I hope that you guys, really enjoy my podcast. If you get the opportunity, TikTok, I think extended. Yeah. I think TikTok extended their little deal that they had. So good. So, you'll find me on TikTok. You'll find me on YouTube. They just kicked me off of Facebook after I opened it. I don't know why. They didn't tell me. They're just like, you have 180 days. I'll never find out because I can't get into it. But anyway, again, I really appreciate you guys. I love your comments. So please subscribe, comment, and like on those platforms. And if you need to find me, you're going to see it. I'm going to probably put it up right here in this area. It's going to be at Just Yappin, JUSYAPPIN 73. All right. I hope you guys are doing well. And until the next time, I'm Big C. Peace.